Let's talk some more about President Bola Tinubu's nationwide address on Monday. The president approved provision of buses to the student bodies of all universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across the country. This was disclosed in a statement by Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Communications, and Strategy, Dele Alake. President Tinubu says his desire is to see that students can access their campuses without much difficulty as a result of higher transportation costs. He noted that the provision of the buses will also remove the burden of additional cost of daily commuting on parents and guardians. The statement also noted that President Tinubu has equally approved the removal of all restrictions on the student loan to make it available to any student or household that may desire it. He further directed the authorities in all federal institutions of higher learning to avoid arbitrary increase in sundry fees payable and, where possible, defer further increase so that parents and students do not face too many difficulties. Joining me now to speak more on this and the President's broadcast is Hamzat Lawal. He's CEO Connected Development. He joins us via Zoom from Abuja. Hamzat, the President on Monday addressed Nigeria's current economic challenges. What is your assessment of that broadcast?
Well, thank you for having me. It's really exciting. The President's communication was clear. He gave back faith and hope to the Nigerian people, and it was really presidential. You know, he talked about the economy. He talked about how he's going to ensure that plans are rolled out to cushion the effects. You know, we've never seen this kind before, and I hope that the president would ensure that every quarter at least he speaks to the Nigerian people. It was really presidential.
Quite a number of initiatives, you know, the president announced on Monday. He talked about 200,000 metric tons of grains being made available to families across the country, fertilizer, seedlings, and all of those. How much impact, really, do you see these make in the lives of the average citizens who are meant to benefit?
Well, if this palliative that the government, the president have rolled out, if it's effectively implemented, then this would really help cushion the effects of the impact of inflation and removal of all subsidy. And I like the fact that he's pumping in about 75 billion to MSMEs. This is really great, and it shows that his policy around micro and medium scale enterprise is unique. We know that if this money is circulated in the economy, it will really help ensure that jobs are sustained. But most importantly, government can get revenue from these jobs, and young people would have access to opportunity, and then there will be growth in our economy. So the grains that are going to be released, the fertilizer will also help, because we know that right now is winter season, and this will come handy to ensure that these farmers will be able to get their yield and take to the market and make income. So I think it's really timely, and I'm really glad the president was very specific and clear. And this also makes it easy for civil society to hold him to account. But I think it's important that the duty bearers, that's the MDAs that are going to roll out this initiative, are able to do it very effectively and efficiently and leave no leakages or any form of diversion.
Talking about leakages, that's quite profound, because the president mentioned that 1 trillion naira has so far been saved, you know, from the removal of petrol subsidy, and that's just in 2 months. Just imagine how much more the government would be able to save going forward. But then let's talk about monitoring to ensure, just as you have said, there are no leakages and no, further siphoning by, unscrupulous elements in the system.
Yeah, I think it's great. And if you listen to the president, he said we cannot allow a few people control the wealth of, over 200 million people. And he wants to ensure that our collective wealth are equitably distributed so that there will be fairness and justice. And I think this is great. And this sends a strong message to mischief makers and people who have milked the country over the years. And I know that before the end of this year, we might likely save over 3 trillion naira. But also we need to make more investment in primary health care and education. Yes, it's great that we have student loan, but we need to focus on primary education, which is the fundamental and the background of every child. So primary education, secondary education, needs to be focused on, because from students from poor or low-income households drop out of school after junior secondary education. So savings from poor subsidy needs to go to primary health care and also education. And I believe that once our ministers are cleared and they're sworn into office, they can hit the ground running, because the president has set the tone already and he has made policy pronouncement. He has made his communications clear to the Nigerian people. And I know civil society like myself would be following through to hold him to account and also ensure effective implementation.
CEO Connected Development Code Hamzat Lawal, thank you for talking to us on TVC News at 1.
Thank you for having me.